Y'all got some of that special haunt stuff, man? You may assume the heavy hardcore haunters all live in Southern California. While there is a heavy concentration of haunts here, there's a couple down in Georgia that are fucking shit up like we do here in SoCal. Boils and ghouls, haunt junkies, aka Meghan and Vilonte, have been to over 100 haunts in 15 states. What? That's insane. Haunt junkies started off writing reviews of haunts, then became haunters themselves. Their home haunt invites hauntgoers onto their entire property and inside their house. That's so rare. Due to COVID, Meghan and Vilonte won't be doing a walkthrough this year, but they are getting their fix via traveling all over the East Coast and rural states to visit open haunts. And in the process, they launched the Golden Ghost Awards, an award show that honors the haunt junkies, like you, like me, like us, like haunt junkies. So enough of my noise. I'm fucking stoked to chat it up with Meghan and Vilonte, aka Haunt Junkies.
Shut the fuck up.
Meghan and Vilonte, thanks so much for joining me on my goofy, weird little show all the way from California. Well, I'm in California. You're all the way from Georgia.
In Atlanta. Yeah.
Atlanta. So, when we met each other via what I've learned is called Instameet, I was super stoked, and I didn't want to get too excited at first because I often scare people off when I get too excited. So, and it will really show through my messages, I'm sure. But, before I get into horror and what you guys do as far as your style of haunting and your travels, I really wanted to talk about what I'm really excited about. I always get excited when someone like me enters my realm, okay? By me, I mean black and into horror and Halloween. I did a whole blog on it back in February. Now, you two are an interracial couple like me and my husband, and besides our beautiful skin and our partnerships and our beautiful children, what intrigues me so much about you two, especially, is that you're not both what normal people would consider haunters. Like when they think of haunters, they think of an alternative culture. We've talked about this. Now, you've mentioned in your experience, people think that haunters fit into a type of look and culture. You listen to hip hop, you wear Jordans, you're, the neighbors across the street. We got to talk about those orange and black Jordans, though, okay? Because I might want a pair. Yeah, you're into horror and Halloween just as much as us alternative folks are. So, how often do you get folks taken aback by who you are? Like, I'm really curious about, oh, you haunt? You do what?
It's less of vocal, it's more of the look. Whenever we talk on the phone, we'll reach, hey, we're the Haunt Junkies, we're trying to come review your haunt or something like that, and we show up and they just look like, oh. And we're like, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. The Haunt Junkies, and they're like, what the hell? Next thing you know, they get talking to us, and they're like, okay. They definitely have been around, and it's them. So.
That's really interesting, though, because when you think of imagine someone like me showing up. Hey, well, I don't know. People already know what I look like, but they're like, oh, hey, what? Or they get this really goth person showing up. Do you think they expect that more than they expect just here in California? It's really different. It's so this is why I'm so curious about you guys and what your experiences are, because in California and Southern California in particular, all the haunters come from all walks of life. Like nobody is the same here.
Right.
We have Sal and Claire who do House or Cemetery. They're also an interracial couple. But we don't have any black haunters out here that we know of yet. So we'll get into that. But right. I love the looks, and it's often hilarious. And, I kind of live for those moments.
We do too. It makes our day. It makes us, we just let's do this again. Yeah. Let's go to another haunt. Let's shock somebody else. Let's continue barriers.
Yeah, or sometimes it's just push the white girl out as the buffer. So it's
that's true.
Let's make everyone feel comfortable.
Right. My husband, he said it before, and I was like, damn it, he caught me. This is how when you're married to someone, you guys just know you're meant for each other. He said he wanted me to go visit his family in Idaho. I was like, I ain't going to Idaho. I'm black. I'm not going to Idaho. He goes, you're only black when it's convenient for you. I'm like, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
I didn't go to Idaho, did I?
Oh, we're black all the time. I'm black all the time. And she hit it on the head. I'll push you out there and be like, boom, blackness. Hey, I'm Vilonte. Damn, Vilonte even. Shit.
Yeah. I know. When you texted me, I was like, fuck, I hope I don't fuck his name.
Same
He said the
thing.
same
When we
thing.
interviewed He's Crafty, he was like, I don't think I've ever like said your name out loud.
Never. I'm like, yep, it's that.
That's it.
I love it. You guys are awesome. Now, speaking of these boxes, I shared with you. Oh yeah, that's where I was at. I shared with you before, and I'll share now with all of the wonderful people watching us about my famous uncle who lives in Atlanta. And when he expressed concerns about my appearance and how obsessed I was with Halloween, I have to say it theatrical because when he told me the story, or when he was saying this to me, I was super stoned. I can say it. I was so high, but I'm glad I was high because I wouldn't have reacted as calmly and
Yeah.
as I would have. So,
Yeah.
anyways, and I find it absolutely hysterical now. So he was concerned that my lifestyle would appear to be satanic to others. And, I laugh because I was high. I'm anti-religious, so I didn't care, but it's those boxes that people put me in and themselves into. Hey dog. Hi. Hello, animal creature. It happens when you're doing interviews from home. Anyways, I would love for you two to meet him one day and let him know that you can be black and into horror and Halloween haunts and not be satanic.
My dad is learning the same thing too. I mean, there were times, mind you, I said in the interview previously that it spawned from fear of horror movies and him taking us to haunted houses. But to this day, I'm 35 years old. He's not 100% cool with it. In fact, we don't talk much at all now, but it was always a conversation like, that's weird, or you don't know yourself, or something like that. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm black every day. My hair grows like this. I love being black. Like, I don't understand, just because you don't get it doesn't mean that it is as such. That's your perspective. That's not how we walk every day in our shoes, right? So fuck everybody and their opinions. If you're happy, then it's cool. And in Atlanta, it's just weird. It's like there's conventions here. Dragon Con, Momo.
Right.
You see people, furries, like all that craziness walking around the mall.
Yeah.
So how is it like weird? You would be just like everyone else, an original individual. Like,
Right.
weird.
Although I would love to see you guys showing up in a furry costume for Thanksgiving or Christmas or something. And they go like, like, was the haunt life so bad? What about you, Megan? Like, what experiences do you have like with your family? Have you had any issues where, they were like, oh my God, you are so, what are you doing? Is this devil worshiping stuff? What are you doing? Do you get any shit from your family?
So no, it's actually kind of the complete opposite with my family. I was raised in kind of a very alternative kind of atmosphere. So, while most kids, grew up reading the Bible, I grew up reading tarot cards and runestones and crystals. So that's just kind of my background. So for me and Halloween and the love of Halloween, it came from that more spiritual, like holiday aspect of Halloween and everything that encompassed that. And my mom is like, she's a chicken. She is scared of everything. She hates horror movies. So that's just not her thing. So of course, because it's not her thing, it had to be mine.
Right.
Right.
So it was always one of those things where I was like sneaking to watch horror movies and scary stuff. And same thing, my mom now, she's just always very concerned about like,
She's
is
cautious.
this, like, are you going a little too far with all this blood in your kitchen? Or, like, are you sure that you guys want to have this guy with a missing leg in your garage? Like, I just don't know.
I let her answer because my response would be, hell no, this is not enough blood.
Right?
With
There's
that
never enough blood.
More blood!
I just love it. These perspectives are fantastic, and I'm actually falling in deeper love with you. I may be moving in or stealing Megan. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry, Chuck. Now, what's interesting is that, we look at shows like Blackish. Did you guys watch that show, Blackish?
haven't watched Black.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, you guys got to watch it. Now, it always has like this Halloween episode. So it's a progressive Black family. It's like that one show we watched when we were kids that we probably shouldn't have watched if we known what was going to happen in the future. You get where I'm coming from? But it's more progressive and it's more modern, and the show's just fucking awesome.
Yeah,
So
I've seen a few things. Anthony Anderson is in that,
Yes.
right? I've seen
Yes.
excerpts from the show. It gets really serious and touches on deep topics.
It does. But most of the time it's funny. And they have Halloween episodes, which is perfect because I love those. I mean, I love the show entirely, but when they have the episodes, of course, I get excited. Now they decorate heavily. They did a haunt one season, and I have to imagine Kenya Barris, who's the writer, director, and all that stuff,
Mhm.
absolute genius. He wrote these episodes because he has a love for Halloween and has experienced some black haunters before. Where are they? Where are they? You said you've been to 15 states.
Fi-
Nothing?
Listen, the most black people we've seen was not last weekend, but the weekend before in South Carolina at this haunt in Bishopville, South Carolina called Creepy Hollow. I'm talking, we
Mm.
pulled up and we were like, what is going on here? Like, this is crazy because black people are typically afraid of that. Like,
Right.
It's not common to see a
no,
lot of black people, enjoying haunted
no.
attractions.
Our friends will show up, dump some money in a donations bucket and be like, peace, I'm out. Like, y'all have a good time. We ain't going in that bitch. And it's like, bro, come on, it's us. Like, I don't understand. So
It's not real.
I don't know where they are. And we see haunt actors,
Yeah.
but haunt owners or haunters per se, never, man. I mean, we haven't met them all.
I
And it
mean,
was
even
dope.
haunt actors are few and far between.
Very,
Mhm.
at
Wait
least
till you guys
in the
get to California. Yeah,
man.
wait till you get to California. We're everywhere. There was a point where we would sit there in line at Not Scary Farm, and because these lines, before I used to start getting VIP and shit, you're talking hour and a half wait. So what
Yeah.
do? You watch the scare actors scare people. Um, 9 times out of 10, the ones running are us black folks, and they are running. So we're just fucking
Always
laughing,
run
you
it,
know. And
run it.
here's me going, if you didn't run, they wouldn't chase you. But then again, keep running because I'm enjoying the fuck out of this right now.
I wouldn't be surprised
And
if
then
black people ran with them because typically when a black person sees someone running, they start running. Don't ask questions. What you running for? I don't know, bro. I just saw you.
I've explained this to my husband that's what happens. It's like a flock of birds, we're all in sync. So this is interesting. I'm hoping, through these discussions that we actually we take a younger generation, or we take even people that I'm 40 years old and I'm just starting to live my life. I'm starting to not give a fuck what anybody thinks. I'm just doing me and what makes me happy. And
Sure.
it's starting to show. Like my family's taking notice, like, we haven't seen you this happy. So what I'm hoping is that we're here to inspire those who want, especially kids, because I mean, they're the ones that are going to be doing this for us.
Yep.
I hope that they take from these conversations, like, I can build a haunt, and they start with just something in their garage, and then they expand, and that they're allowed to do this, and we want them to. So I love this.
Yep.
When I was chatting with David Markland, the producer of Midsummer Scream, about Black Halloween, he enlightened me to an interesting and sad fact, of which we just discussed. Despite all his research, he can't find the black haunters, especially in diverse ass California. It's so diverse here, but there's no black haunters. You watch that special. How does it make you feel being, basically one of two black haunters in the entire country at this point? That's known.
I mean, the first thought is it's exciting because of the charisma and excitement we have going into this, knowing something like that. I would tell all my friends before anyone, like, this market's not open and we don't see any black people in here. I don't understand. And we could make it dope because one of the things they talked about at Black Halloween that you were on was Black history is black horror. And that is very true because we've experienced so much, but the things that we see doesn't really hit home. We don't relate to that. See Jordan Peele, Get Out, and Us and stuff like that. You're like, Lovecraft Country. You're like, this makes more sense. This is right. So it's exciting. It's also saddening too, because it's like, why not? Do we feel that it's not cool? Is it not okay? Like, I have a sister that's 49 or 50. Hey, show. And she's gothic and considers herself to be a succubus or vampire. She'll talk to you and drain your energy. And she told me many stories back in the day whenever she was like one of the two black goths that would go to the goth club or those concerts, and people would look at her and she's like, I came here to enjoy the music and have fun just like you, but you're looking at me based on my skin tone, but we are all the same. It's in the goth or goth community. It's like, it's so, like you said, it's so many subcategories and so many sub-communities within. Everybody is different. You can't categorize it as one thing, but black people are lacking here, and it's fun.
And we want you here, God. Come on.
We want you here. As a black person, we want to feel comfortable. I want to walk in and be like, oh, cool. What's up, bro?
And I feel like it really just comes from this whole art imitating life, or does life imitate art? And it's kind of like, you can't be something if you can't see it. So until people start seeing people that look like them doing these kind of things, running haunted attractions, being in scary movies, they're not, it's for them.
Right.
That's so important that people like Vilonte get out there so that like, listen, you can be whoever you want to be and still like scary stuff. Like, don't feel like you need to be put in this box.
We just went to Haunted Hotel in Kentucky, not to rant, but we went to Haunted Hotel in Kentucky, delivered them their Golden Ghost Award in person. And we were standing in line in VIP next to some people, and I heard them having a conversation like, weren't you just at like 2 haunted houses? They were like, yeah. I was like, Megan, give me a wristband. Handed their whole group a wristband and was like, yo, what's up, bro? I'm Vilonte with the Haunt Junkies, and we review haunts. They're like, what? Review haunts? Like, yeah, we go around, been to 15 states, over 100 haunts, reviewing haunted houses. He's like, man, we could have been did this. But as what you said, maybe they didn't see it, right? So I don't want to get in there. There's some racist people, or that's not for us, so.
Yeah, and I really hope that this propels another movement, because we're starting to show up in the horror industry, the film industry more. We were always there, but now we really have everyone's attention. So I'm not going to ever stop talking about it until I see it, and I'm not going to stop getting excited about it and probably scaring people. But it is what it is. It's because I'm really excited to see someone like me, and it's the comfort factor.
Right.
Again, before I was saying that, did I go to Idaho? That conversation, so yeah, I want to be comfortable too anywhere I go when I go into these things. For me it was different because I'm just weird. I'm just a weird person. So when I went into these conventions, I'm feeling like there's 30,000 people who are weird just like me. It wasn't a matter of I forgot to look for people, for black folks, because I was like, oh, hey, there's another weirdo. Or like your sister, a black goth. I had a different experience. I was always welcomed wholeheartedly into the goth community. But California, so we're the land of liberal and accepting, apparently. So, all right, so let's talk about what propels you guys, what drives you, what inspires you. You're both horror movie fans. So this will be like 2 questions, one for each of you.
Okay.
What was the very first horror movie you remember watching that addicted you to the genre? You had to have been a kid, I'm sure.
Yeah. So for me, this is kind of like a 2-part thing. So for me, the very first horror movie I watched was Halloween. Classic Halloween. And so that was the one that made me be like, ooh, I like it. Because of course at that point my mom was like, we don't watch that kind of stuff. We don't do that. But then it wasn't until Scream that I became a full-on like love horror.
Wow.
Really? Scream? 1997 Scream with Drew Barrymore, Nev Campbell, not the MTV series.
Matthew
Okay, sweet.
Lillard, yes.
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich, like all those guys. Yeah.
Vilonte, so what is the first horror movie you remember that made you addicted to the horror genre?
Addicted would have to be a TV show, and that TV show is Tales from the Crypt. There was something about the Crypt Keepers' candor and attitude just awesome for me. And a movie would have to be Freddy Krueger if it was addicted. And I would say Freddy because of the fear. I didn't fear anything as much whenever I was young. He came in your nightmares. I was the only child for a brief moment of time, like 4 years at my house. I have older brother and older sister, 2 sisters. And yeah, it had to be that. Freddy, like I said before, my dad had a mask of Freddy and a hat and the glove, and he brought it home from his bodybuilding competition and would walk around scaring us with that shit. And he didn't give a shit about it at one point. And then we took the hat and mask and would wear it, and it was interesting to dress up in costumes, right? So that's where that definitely is spawned from. Tales from the Crypt and Freddy Krueger, no doubt.
I've never heard anyone say Tales from the Crypt before, and that's really exciting because that was our slumber parties. I get it, because the whole the just from the intro, you're like, what is this? I want it in my life. I love it.
Going back, we own all of the episodes and all of the movies. 4 movies, all the episodes. I think there's 96 episodes, 7 seasons. Going back and watching the show itself, it's not scary per se. It's the Crypt Keeper himself. You know what I mean? The intro is what scared me as a kid. My daughter, same thing. She sees that.
Oh
She's
my
like,
god.
yeah.
How do you watch on DVD? Do you have it a DVD or VHS box set? How do you have it?
We have all the DVDs. Here's
Fuck yeah.
every show right there.
Hell yeah. So when I come for our slumber party, 'cause I'm gonna come visit you guys.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna come visit you and Eric. That's what I'm gonna do next year. Instead
Yeah.
of doing shit in California. I've seen
Yeah,
it. You know?
We're gonna go.
So
we're definitely going to Detroit next year, no doubt.
We should plan it
what's
all together.
all of us go.
Yeah.
We should surprise him. There's a surprise.
Right.
What was the first horror movie that you guys actually watched together? Oh, what was that? I didn't hear you. My stupid
Oh, sorry.
AirPods.
We should go for his birthday since that just passed, and that's in October.
Oh, yesterday. We should. We should.
Oh,
We
well,
really should.
birthday.
We're gonna have to talk about this. I'm down.
Yeah.
Now, what was the first horror movie you guys actually watched together as a couple?
The first?
The first one, because the first one was The Collector, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that's right. You couldn't handle it. That's right. She had to stop. I was like, yo, this movie's dope. You like scary movies? Check this shit out. She was like, okay, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
I can't do it. He was too smart.
Why?
Smart. So the thing that gets me through every horror movie is kind of like that typical thing where it's like, they're such an idiot. Why are they running? They should be running down. Like, why are they? But it's like in Collector, like anything that I could think of, like, oh man, if he just went around this way and did this, like he already had a plan for that. It was already booby trapped there. So it was just like, it was too much of a mind fuck for me. I was like, I can't handle it. My brain's about to explode. He's too smart. I'm going to die. Like, I'm going to die.
And for me, it's that's what attracted me to that movie. It's like, yo, he's fucking them up. This is dope. I love it.
It gave me anxiety.
Yeah,
It gave me anxiety because I was like, damn, this shit's never gonna end, dude. Like, this is what would happen to me if I was in a horror movie. Like if I was living through a horror movie. I was like, there's a nuclear bomb. I'll be dead because I'll run towards the light. I ain't trying to survive nuclear holocaust. Okay.
Commercial, huh? There's chainsaws. Run behind them. Oh no,
yeah, that's me in that commercial. Which I love that commercial. Whoever made that was a genius. Now, before COVID, you guys were. When do you start your preparations for your home haunt? And I have to ask, what is it like living amongst your haunt renovations, as I call it, when you're like, oh, let me just move this limb aside to make my coffee?
Exactly what
When
it's
do you start?
Exactly what it's like.
I think we have pictures like that too, like with Dunkin' Donuts coffee next to bloody freaking cabinets and arms.
So, I mean, we
tastes better that way.
Yeah, we start
right
really early.
March, February.
Yeah, so we start building in February or March, just because we're still, this would have been our 4th year. But so being 3 years in, like we still are making improvements and we're still building every year. Like our show right now is not, our final show. Like we're improving every. So we start building in, March, February.
Yep.
And then we are setting up the inside of the house by like end of July, beginning of August-ish.
Yeah.
And then the yard doesn't happen until like right in October, just because
we're
on shaky ground with the HOA, so I don't want to push them too much.
And we do have an HOA, and they allow us to do it, so we don't want to mess it up, right? So
that doesn't happen in California.
Right, we hear horror stories, man, and it's like, wow. Whenever we came in, we didn't ask. We knew we had an HOA. We were like, this is what we're doing. Who gives a fuck what anyone says? This is what we want to do. So we did it.
HOA.
Yeah, and we live in the cul-de-sac. And one of the people that is on the HOA lives here. Just so have an older couple, white guy and Hispanic lady. They love it. They want to see more trick-or-treaters come. So it was like they were happy that we were doing that. The first year, it was just a PVC pipe with tent. We were walking in. We didn't even know exit. We didn't have one.
Yeah, you and out through the front door.
Right. And then it was like, what the hell? And it's cool. It was Spirit Halloween props, scene setter, and all that stuff. But then the second year is whenever we really got going. And weren't aware of what we were going to do, and we're just making shit January, February, crafting shit, cutting at 10 o'clock at night, and no one said nothing. And next thing you know, we started setting up a freaking garage with fences and columns, 7 foot, 5.5 foot, and they're just looking like,
what is happening?
Yeah, Yeah, but then built out our garage too, had an exit, and everything worked, and it was awesome, man.
Yeah,
It was just crazy.
Yeah, so we leave. So our first floor, so it's obviously it's our front yard, and then it's most of our first floor. We have a family room off to the side. So that's like the one room that doesn't get spookified.
Yes.
Right. So that
I was thinking it like, sure.
Yeah, yes. We've definitely talked about it because we have this overlook that was awesome in there. Because
but it's like the one room that we can like live in other than upstairs, you know, while everything is going on. Like I pretty much, you know, I don't cook meals in the kitchen once, you know, like once rolls around really. I mean, the Uber, like every Uber Eats driver, I'm pretty sure has probably been to our house.
Has a business card.
Love it.
Million questions. Yep.
They should be like, you guys get a discount because you spend so much. I would love to compare. Chuck, write this down. I would love to compare with you guys how much you guys spend on Uber Eats and Postmates and stuff compared to what we've done during the coronavirus.
We are literally platinum members on Uber Eats. It's a problem. Our physiques are still being maintained, but it's like,
lucky, yeah. See, I told him, I'm like, we're the only ones that got fat during quarantine. Damn, and he
looked great.
Like, I know. I've gained like, I'm happy it was only 13 pounds because I was like, what? That's only 13? And I like the number, so I like it. Hey, whatever. It's probably all went to right boob. I don't know. Now, on your website bio, you talk about, I can't wait to ask this question. I was so excited. Okay, so on your website bio, you asked, actually, you talk about how you won't sugarcoat a haunt. If it sucks, it sucks. Now, I've been waiting to review a haunt here in Southern California that sucks, but honestly, I have yet to encounter any. I don't know if it's just something's wrong with me or everyone's haunt is just epic here because they're all pretty badass. So I need to know, I have to know, what is the absolute worst haunt you've ever been to? Hands down.
So we're going to preface it with this same thing. Like, we can always find something in a haunt that's good. So it's like, even if your haunt is shit, we could still say, hey, but this particular thing, like, this was still really good. Like, we see your vision here. Like, we feel you there. But overall, it was in
Nightmare Asylum.
Yeah,
you were going to say that.
And when was the year?
Either 2016 or 2017. It's like some alternator shop. They do, I don't even know. It's here in Georgia. And we went in and it was advertised like it was cool, but it's not a pro haunt. It had like the jumping spider from Spirit. And like a main attraction, not like an additive to like throw you here or make you look this direction and then something comes from here. It was just like, that's it? Are you kidding me?
So it was like these mechanics that like just decided that they were gonna put a haunted house on in their mechanic shop. Right.
Which is a cool idea.
Cool.
That's
like,
cool.
I could see where that could be absolutely horrifying.
More power to you.
And the fact that he had, you know, the passion enough to say, you know what, I want to do this. That shit's cool.
Yeah.
Right? It is cool, but it wasn't.
So it was terrible. But and so the worst part, which could have been the best part, was that this guy, so again, this was like 2016, 2017. So this is before like escape rooms were like really, really popular.
Yep.
Right.
And this guy had incorporated like escape room-esque kind of themes in some of his rooms where like you'd have to come up with a combination to get out.
On the lock, like a combi lock.
Yeah, but the problem was that the actors in the room, I guess, like, you know, after night after night after night, when people are coming through and like not getting a code or just being retarded or I don't know, whatever. But they like didn't even give you a chance to like figure it out.
No.
They're just like,
oh.
And they had a black light.
The
They had a black light. So you're like looking on the wall. You don't even know that it's an escape room. You just walk in and the door's locked and there's a chick standing there looking creepy with the black light. Yeah. So you're looking on the wall like, what is this? And she signs it like right there. There's 3. Then you're looking and she's like, plus. 4. Wow. Okay, that's 7. No. It's for the lock. What?
It
wasn't explained.
It wasn't even a one night. I thought the way it sounded was like a one night only thing. So this thing ran for.
It ran. It was a whole season.
It ran.
That's what it did.
I assume it's not running now.
if they are, we want to hope that they improve.
Yeah,
That's
like,
what we'll say.
It was one of those things where like we haven't even checked again. You know, like
Yeah, to see. Oh, that's a good thing. I never thought to like, oh, hey, go back. You know, I have these hunters that are like, hey, do you want to come back? I'm like, for what? What you want me to do? What you want me to say? You know.
We would honestly, with us, we would go back, but it has to be a couple years, especially for something.
Gotcha.
We got to give you some time, especially if you read a review from us, which it's not sugar-coated. We're going to be honest. If it was fucking amazing, we're going to say it was fucking amazing. If it fucking sucked, we have to say that. There were a couple that we didn't say it was bad. I remember one in particular that was in Kentucky from last year's Haunt Tour that we let them know our thoughts, and they read the review and they were like, we would be amiss if we didn't have a rebuttal to what you said. And we were like, well, it was our experience, and that's what it was. Is this supposed to be scary or entertaining? And I know that once you get to a certain level and you have so many people coming to your haunt, it's probably difficult to really get the true scares. So you have to just turn it into entertainment. But I would say most go to haunted houses to be scared. So
if I just wanted to be entertained, I'd go see a movie. I'd go bowling. I'd go to Dave and Buster's, like, to be entertained.
Right.
Like,
I want Shudder.
Yeah.
Right.
solely about entertainment. Understood. So they
that.
up on Facebook after they read our review, and it was a little spat back and forth with us, and then Megan just got in and shut it down. Like, look, this is how we felt. Get better.
Like,
period. This is what we thought. It's not like we're shitting on you saying you fucking suck. It was just like you weren't the cup of tea that we like. Like,
yeah, constructive criticism from pros. Hello, why wouldn't you want that?
It's scary and it's cool. Like, you guys didn't have a theme, and we said it.
Right,
you didn't
and that
have
was it.
one. They're like trying to like explain what was going
Not
on.
only explain, they tried to like knock us. Like,
like,
anybody could do a review. We don't know this and that, and we're like, so that's a jar about me. In fact, we were like, we've been to X amount of haunts in X amount of states over X amount of years. As much as you could say you don't know us, which we respect.
Right, because we were newer to the game. Like, we haven't, been out there as haunt junkies as long as
do understand that we have been, and we do our own. So it's not like we're just criticizing you with no substance at all. Right. So,
and that's what I love to hear. I'm like, oh my God. And that's what I love. Honesty. Give me something real.
Right.
See, my husband and I, we'll do a little, thing with each other. And I'm like, I don't know. But he's also like, hates everything. So he's like, I don't know. It was cool. He's never impressed. So it's hard to, discuss it with him because he's like, that was cool. What was the scariest haunt that you've ever been to? Like, where you were actually afraid for your life? Have you had one of those?
Just recently.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yes. Sweet Dream Scare House in Easley, South Carolina. There were two. Let me just say this. There were two. Nightmare Dungeon at first was like, oh, shit, they stepped it up. They're grabbing you. And they're in Easley as well. But then Sweet Dream Scare House right down the street, like 15 minutes, they scared the shit out of us, man.
Really? Give spoilers or don't give spoilers. Did they win an award for your award show, the Golden Ghost Award?
Just might. We award that next year.
Oh, yeah, that's next year. Next year's. Okay, I got you. I'm thinking ahead already.
But yeah, I mean, so just to give you a synopsis, we heard it was a rated R show, so we went. We had missed them 2 weekends or last year, and then the weekend we were in for Mad World and Nightmare Dungeon, which is right around the same area.
Yeah, there's like 3 haunts, like in really, really close proximity, which is awesome for us because we try to hit so many in one night. We're like, it's close together. We can definitely hit all 3.
Right. So they, promoted a rated R show. We're like, sure. We get there, meet the guy. The owner's name is Joe. He gives us a glowy necklace and said, this is for your rated R show. We're like, cool. We go into the Midway. They have a dope ass DJ out there. His name's like DJ Hambo or something. And the coffin with these cool ass clowns, and the setup, it was dope. We did not know. As soon as you walk in, the line was like, it wasn't there.
Yeah.
We walked in the very first room, there was this dude like my height. I'm 6'2", 235. This dude walked in like 6'2" or 6'3", pushed me up against the wall hard as fuck. I'm like, damn. Then I look at the same force exerted on Megan, and my face just was like, are you all right? I got into like fight or flight mode real quick, and that never happened. It's a haunted house. You know what I mean? What the fuck? But I see that, and not only do they push her up against the wall with the same energy and aggression, they grab her by her hair and go onto the fucking bed. First room of the haunt. I'm like, Are you okay? Dude comes up, push me up against the wall again. I'm like, damn. We go walk out the door and we're walking like, yo, I'm like, are you all right? Because this is kind of crazy. Megan's like, I'm really fucking scared. I'm like, what the fuck?
I was like, I may have peed a
A
little.
little.
Oh my
And then
god.
that conversation, dude comes out and puts me in like a fucking full Nelson. And it's like, you forgot to close my door, and drags me back. And I like slam his fucking door. After that, I'm on like level 100. The whole haunt, I'm like walking through like ready for everybody. Cause like, what is this? We were scared.
Damn. I'm just thinking, okay, as you're saying this, have you seen The House is October built?
Of course.
Yeah, I was like, that's a haunt. Like, you have to watch it to be a haunter. Hello.
Yeah.
But fuck, that's what I'm thinking of right now. Is like, and I often wonder how often does that shit happen? Like that movie Haunt. I
Yeah.
wonder if shit like that happens. Oh my god.
People talk about it all the
Listen,
time.
we have definitely been in places where we have wondered if that shit was about to go down.
Hell
Like,
Hell
where
yeah.
are we going right
Traveling
now?
in rural Georgia in the South
Yeah.
period, just
Alabama,
period,
yeah.
and then magnified by blackness. It's
Yeah.
like, well, what am I doing here? Are we okay? Fuck, we don't got service. This is some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no. And
I
you
don't-
guys are like, yeah, we're just gonna keep going.
right?
Keep going.
We
I would
do.
have been gone.
I have AT&T. She has T-Mobile. We have not joined for that very reason, because we both need to have, someone has to have service whenever we're out in
Yep.
these fucking crazy
I
places.
love the planning. I love it. I love the planning there.
Smart.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Because there's been times where I thought my husband was gonna take me somewhere to kill me. And I didn't think like, shit, we have the same carrier.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like, fuck.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, how do you guys find the time to build and still have time to visit millions of haunts in one season? How do you do it?
So
Do you sleep?
No, I was about to say a lot of caffeine.
a lot of caffeine. We
And-
don't, I mean, we go to work full time too. I work for the Home Depot corporate, and I drive to work like an hour and 20, hour 30 minutes in the morning and almost 2 on the way back. Come in the house, tell everybody hello, change my clothes, go outside and back to work. It just is what it is,
Yeah.
right? Whenever it comes to haunts, we work as much as we can up until, I don't know, 5 o'clock, 5:30. And when we're building heavy, like we were
Mhm.
year 2 and part of year 3, we don't hit like 30 or so haunts. It
Oh,
just
okay.
work like that. We go to, I mean, 15, 20 minimum, which is probably a lot for most
It's
people.
still a lot.
But it's like a 15, 20 haunt minimum. We're up
Okay.
to 22 right now, and we still have 2 weekends left, right? So
yeah,
just is what it is. Yeah.
but yeah.
We couldn't interview at one point because you guys were like 7 states away. I mean,
Yeah, just get crazy. We were in
and I love how you go Haunt Junkies. You're sniffing haunts, you know, like
no doubt.
Shoot
Shooting
'em
them up. Look,
shoot it up.
we said that in unison. It sounds like it's for real. Let's stop it.
Now, how the hell did you meet? Oh, actually, no. I think I already know the answer to this because I feel like you've talked about it. How do you get your fix during the non-haunt season? I assume it's because you're building.
When we're building, we search, like if we take a vacation, one of the first things that we're looking at, which it doesn't always determine our trip, we look to see if there's a year-round haunt around.
I do that too. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
so we went to, like, Myrtle Beach. They had 2 out there, Zombie Zone and Ripley's Haunted Adventure. In Orlando and Kissimmee, like Old Town, they have Old Town. It used to be called Legend of Old Town, but now it's Morton Manor. Like, different places. Gatlinburg, Tennessee, they have a Ripley's Haunted Adventure, and they have another
Ooh.
manor. I don't know why the name just slipped my mind right now. I apologize. Wanted to name drop you guys. But, yeah, they have one out there. So, we look for those during vacations. That's what we
I
want
love it.
So,
You guys are just it. You are Halloween every day.
yeah.
And
Um,
events, like we have a lot of haunts in our area that will do
Yep.
special events.
mhm.
A Christmas and
Yeah.
a Valentine's
St.
and
Patrick.
a St. Patrick's.
Yep.
Yeah, like if you're doing a haunt, we're there.
Yeah.
Like
Some
Love
even
it.
opening in the summer. We went to one like horror camp,
we did a horror sleepaway camp.
horror sleepaway camp.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sucker camping.
Yo,
No.
I had a fucking cooler with no wheels, big ass sleeping bag. Like all this shit was new because we don't camp. So we're out there, and I'm just walking around like. You ever see like Yosemite Sam or something like that with a big ass moving, walking across? That's what we look like. We get halfway down the trail, and they're like, "Oh, you got to go do tickets there." I'm like, pick this shit up. I'm like, why did I put all the fucking ice in this cooler right now?
Rule 1 of camping: you learn as you go. So we just did a camping trip, and it was pretty cool, but we didn't do anything spooky.
Yeah.
But that's awesome because I assume you're not going to go camping again unless it's a sleepaway camp.
Or with the RV or some shit. Like,
yeah, with the trailer.
2020, what the hell are we doing? Like,
I know.
Sleeping on the ground.
Yeah.
No.
We were discussing how we could have had a trailer this year already if we hadn't spent so much in Postmates. That's how much.
Damn.
Yeah. So, anyways, we'll move along from there. How did you meet Eric? He's a crafty one. I love him so much. He's so damn funny.
So dope. He's like the coolest guy ever.
He's so dope, yo.
You would think that, he's so dope, yo. You would think that we've known each other. We never met in person physically. It has never happened before.
Yeah.
But we were on a Facebook group. Like, we're in a few. Haunters Hangout is one of the bigger Facebook.
Yeah.
It has like actors and pro haunts and stuff in there. Ben Armstrong from Netherworld's in there. But we were in one. It wasn't that one. It was like a Halloween home haunts thing. And we saw a video come on. He's crafty. I was like, oh, he got like a hip hop, urban, like different kind of vibe to him. And I reached out to him. I was like, yo, what you're conveying is what we want to convey. Like urban, like it's okay to do Halloween shit, but still be,
be funny and entertaining.
Yes. And just be you, again, you don't have to fit in the box. And
that's it, right. And that's where it started. And from then we sent each other shirts and we're back and forth about ideas and shit. And it just grew, man.
How magical. See,
right. That's my
I remember I was like, I noticed the shirt. I have the sticker, my sticker here. So it's funny because my husband, when I first started, putting myself out there, he goes, you're inviting fucking your virtual friends to my house. And then like once he meets them, now he's starting to understand like these connections that I make. They don't have to be in person. You can still make these amazing connections. Behold, like I haven't met you in person yet. I don't think we were knocking my son for doing online dating. And I'm like, well, how the fuck else do people meet each other these days? They don't. We all interact via, social media. So
we met.
See?
Yeah. Didn't know anything about Halloween. It wasn't like we have in an about section.
Yeah.
Halloween.
But look at the connection.
The
connection was already there, and I think it's magnified because it's through electronics. But that's a story for another day. Eric, we love you. You're fucking hilarious, and I just love your stuff. And he actually formally introduced us. So like he was like, hey, Michelle, I need you to go talk to these two folks here. And I'm like, all right. And then it's been magic ever since.
Yeah. To be completely honest with that, we saw him, he friended you and you were posting, and we saw your post like that exact day, Black Halloween. Of course.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So
it's literally how it happened.
Yeah.
Like he had us follow you. When we followed you, we saw the Black Halloween thing, and then that started.
I set an alarm on my phone to join into that because I've been wanting to see. Like I was like, we have to join, and I'm sitting there playing a game with the cell phone right there, like, yo, this is dope.
Oh man, see, David, I really hope that you're watching this because this episode is dedicated to you. See what you did? See what you did? The relationships are happening in the conversations, through conversation and virtual friends. So, it's a real thing. Now I really need you guys to come to California. I need you to spend a whole season here. I know that's hard. I know it's probably like, what the fuck are you asking us to do? But I would love you guys to come here. You're interested. Have you thought about how you would manage coming here and running your haunt, or if you would do it at all?
If we were to come there and manage our haunt, it would be a week or two, and we would have to have everything like done.
Gotcha.
Like if it was setting up outside, which isn't intrusive because our outside setup isn't like the facades that you see in SoCal and stuff. We don't just a big facade in front of our house. It's more scenic. It's the line for our haunt. That's how our outdoor is. So, yeah, we would just have it set up and done before we came out there. But that's how we do it. I mean, we have to do that because even next year going to Michigan or last year going to Kentucky, we have to have things before we make that trip because we don't want to disappoint. And last year we had over 600 people in our home haunt.
That's awesome. That is so rad. I love that.
It was cool, man.
Insane.
That is so
People want
awesome.
reviews. We have videos of people running out. People want the other prompts, and we're like, "Yo, your shit was scarier than them." And we're like, "Dang, man, really?" We just shut the lights out and said, "Let's fucking go." Like, now you're saying what's scarier than this haunt that's been around for 15 years? It's hard to like understand that. It's hard to fathom that.
It's hard to go accept that and go, "Are you serious? Me?
Right.
Us? How did you do that?" See,
Right.
it's like, it's because you love it so much. That's why. And you're like, so you're used to, it's a culture. It's like what was embedded in us, what we've been taught.
Yep.
We can't give ourselves too much credit, but we also want to, but we just can't fathom how when we're just doing something we love.
Right. Yep.
Now,
So fun.
and I also have to say, in the words of Eric, he's a crafty one. Your website is dope, yo. The kids movie list. You have a shop. There's a gallery. You guys do everything, and it's just you two. You don't hire anyone.
Well, as far as the website goes, I have a buddy named Will that has helped us with the website. We built that from scratch. We go through and work with him. It was a bitch because we are so particular about what we want. And then the haunted websites, most haunt websites are done by a particular company like Rogue Hollow, Sinister Visions or something. And they have a similar layout, or some just look like clutter. Like they're trying to get so much info and sponsors and all that shit on one page, and it just looks crazy. We were like, we want this to symbolize who we are, right? So it has to flow a specific way, and we want to have these colors and this scheme and this and that out there. You know, we're thinking of it like, you know, urban horror. How would you think about that? Like, how does that come across? So that's where that all came from.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Impressive website. I have to say, you guys are so effing awesome. Like, I'm gonna start censoring myself now. You guys are so fucking awesome. I'm gonna come live with you for a while. Go through your haunt. What's a good month to come? Is it hot in October down there?
This year,
it's a toss up.
Crazy.
You just never know. You never know.
Last year it got cold as shit. Last year, out of the blue. The year before it was raining like a motherfucker. This year it's like in the 80s one day, 60s at night, and then 60 high the next. We're like, what's going on? We like cold haunts. Like that's what we're used to.
Yeah, haunts are supposed to be. It's supposed to be a cold weather thing. We were at Not Scary Farm all the time, pouring sweat, and then one year it actually poured rain the whole time we were there. Yeah, pretty dope. But we never get that, so we never get weather here.
A lot of amusement park haunts are like that, though. You know,
you get one or the other.
People, long ass line, even the VIP or fast pass line is crazy as hell, and it's just like so hot because you're moving. Especially if you're like us, if you're at Universal Studios and have 8 haunts, we're like hustling.
Oh, we run.
Yeah, we want to see.
We're borderline running.
Right, so yeah, that's how it goes.
So yeah, I can't wait to bring you here. I can't wait to get you there. Wait, what the fuck did I just say? I can't wait to get you here. I can't wait to get myself there. There we go. You get me. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Yes, thank you for putting their info up. Let's run it one more time. Hauntjunkies.com at Haunt Junkies on Instagram. Thank you for not having weird hashtags for me, because sometimes that shit gets hard.
The same on Facebook too, at Haunt Junkies on Facebook.
And Facebook, because you guys do those cool Facebook groups. Again, this episode is dedicated to David Markland of Midsummer Scream for making the connection between me, Haunt Junkies, and He's a Crafty One. I appreciate it so much.
Thanks,
guys, thanks for coming on.
Thank
and
you.
I'll be talking to you guys very soon. We have some things to talk about.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
See you.
Shut the fuck up.